the Five Dwarfs, and the quest for the strange gem ring. Once upon a time, nestled at the foot of towering mountains, lived 5 very special dwarfs. Their names were Alvin, Barty, Cosmo, Danny, and Ismay. They were the best of friends, always helping each other and sharing every adventure. Alvin was their brave and wise leader, always knowing just what to do. Barty was an expert in the forest, finding secret paths and tracking animals with ease. Cosmo was a genius craftsman, able to create wonderful things from wood and stone. Danny was a mastermind, understanding old books, maps, and tricky riddles. And Ismay? He was a gentle soul with a truly magical gift. He could talk to plants and animals, and they would always listen to him. In their cozy home, Stoneheart Village, there was an ancient, whispered legend. It spoke of a strange gem ring, brimming with magical power, hidden deep within a mysterious cave, guarded by magnificent dragons. The legend promised that whoever found this ring would receive the mighty mountain dragon's protection, keeping their beloved village safe from all harm. It was a dream for the villagers, but for the 5 dwarfs, it was a deep, unwavering belief. Their ancestors had searched, but never succeeded. One sunny afternoon, while exploring the village's oldest library, the 5 dwarfs stumbled upon a dusty old chest. Inside, they found a very old book, and hidden within its pages was a map. But it wasn't an ordinary map. It was a riddle. The riddle map pointed to a faraway place called Flame Mountain, famous for the smoke that always drifted from its peak. The dwarfs knew this was their chance to change their village's destiny. With brave hearts and their spirits high, they gathered all the necessary equipment and enough food for their long journey. As the first rays of sunlight touched the mountaintops, the 5 dwarfs set off, ready for their grand adventure. Their first challenge was crossing a dense, shadowy place known as Darkwood. Even at noon, the sunlight could barely peek through the thick, leafy canopy, making the forest feel dark and a little gloomy. Darkwood was full of surprises, like scary bears and mysterious lion-like creatures. But Alvin, their wise leader, carefully scouted ahead, and Barty, with his amazing tracking skills, helped them find safe paths, avoiding all the dangerous areas. Sometimes, their path was blocked by fallen trees or giant rocks. But clever Cosmo, with his trusty pickaxe and axe, would quickly clear the way. Danny, with his knowledge of books, would point out which plants were safe and which were best to avoid. At night, they camped high up in large, sturdy trees, taking turns to keep watch. One night, a wild boar came too close, but Barty bravely scared it away with his spear. Ismay, with his gentle magic, would talk to the forest animals, asking them about the safest paths and hidden dangers. After finally crossing the deep dark wood, they arrived at a wide, roaring river. It was called Roaring River because its current was incredibly strong. They wondered how they would ever cross it safely. But Cosmo, with his amazing craftsmanship, quickly gathered nearby logs and branches. In no time at all, he built a strong, sturdy raft. Danny, always thinking, used their map to find the part of the river where the current was weakest. Ismay gently spoke to the fish in the river, asking them about the currents and the safest way to cross. Once everyone was on the raft, Barty used his long stick to push against the rocks, guiding them, and Alvin watched carefully, making sure everyone was safe. After successfully crossing the mighty Roaring River, they faced their next challenge, a vast, muddy place called Sinking Swamp. It was filled with submerged trees and thick mud, and one wrong step could make them sink. They put their clever heads together to figure out a way across. Cosmo, ever the inventor, gathered long, sturdy branches and cleverly created a ladder-like path over the mud. Barty, with his keen sense of smell, helped them find the few spots of solid ground. Danny carefully read the ancient map instructions for crossing the bog, guiding their steps. And Ismay, with his special gift, spoke to the frogs and water bugs, asking them about the depth of the mud. Thanks to their teamwork, they crossed safely. Though their clothes were covered in mud, they were so happy to have crossed. They found a beautiful, fragrant meadow nearby, where they rested and cleaned up, feeling refreshed and ready for their next adventure. Next, they entered a large, cold, and very dark cave at the foot of a mountain. This was the Silent Cave, and inside, except for the soft whisper of the wind, no other sound could be heard. It was damp and cold, and ancient paintings covered the walls. Danny, always eager to learn, carefully examined the paintings by the light of his candle. He discovered the amazing history of the great dragons, their incredible powers, and the secret of the gem ring. He even found out the dragon's weakness, bright light and the power of nature. The Silent Cave had many confusing underground paths, but Barty, with his experience from the forest, guided them so they wouldn't get lost. Sometimes a path was blocked, but Cosmo, with his crafting genius, would dig through the cave walls, making a new way forward. Alvin always led the group, warning them about dangerous cliffs. Near the very end of the cave, they found a mysterious door. It was made of huge stones and covered in unusual symbols, with a riddle carved right into it. The words read, "Where bright stars meet, where secrets are revealed, where darkness is given light." While the others puzzled, Ismay, with his quick wit, knew the answer. "Belief," he exclaimed. "Only our faith and unity can open this door." As soon as Ismay said, "Belief," the giant stone door slowly, majestically opened. Behind it lay a great cave, warm and filled with the faint smell of smoke. In the center, on a huge pile of glittering gold, slept the magnificent flame dragon, its skin like flint, its eyes like fire. Beside it, the strange gem ring glowed with colorful light, illuminating the entire cave. But as the dwarves held their breath, the dragon slowly awoke, its fiery eyes opening, ready to attack. The 5 dwarfs, fearless, bravely surrounded the mighty flame dragon. Alvin quickly planned their strategy. Barty, with his swift strength, threw his spear at the dragon's feet to distract it. Cosmo pulled large rocks from the cave wall, dropping them to slow the dragon's movements. Danny, remembering the books, pointed out the dragon's weakness, a scaleless spot under its neck. And Ismay, with his nature magic, gathered poisonous mist from nearby plants and blew it at the dragon, causing it to pass out. With their combined strength and unwavering belief in each other, they drove away the flame dragon and bravely took the glowing gem ring. As they slipped the ring onto their fingers, strange beams of light burst forth, and the 5 dwarfs floated up into the sky filled with overwhelming joy.